first draft of the summer together as a podcast. It is me and Keegan, and we are joined by Billy Jones from over at SpikeWeek. We're pumped to be drafting with you today, man. We're gonna set the extremes here of how late we can go RB, and I'm pretty pumped. Pretty pumped.
Yeah, it was a great chat. Yeah, definitely go watch. But we're definitely gonna have to do a zero RB build here. Requirement is to be the last person to draft a running back on the board. Hope nobody pushes us too far. But we'll see what happens.
All right, Keegan. There he is. All right, let's get that draft board up.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, boys.
Billy,
no, I was ready. I was paying attention.
Billy wants to be the last team to take a running back. That's his goal.
Let's do it. Let's just shove them down the board. I'm ready to go here at the 9 spot.
I'm weak.
Here,
though.
I'll go back to the board
I'm
in a second here, but
I'm weak though. Sometimes where I'm like, these receivers stink and James Cook's good, and I just take James Cook. I just capitulate on the value. It's happened to me twice this week.
But that's the whole point of the research that I think at least the research that I found. It's so few people actually zero RB, like push it to around 6th, 7th, 8th round because of the exact reason that you said.
All right. Puka, AJ, Garrett. Typically, I'm going AJ here, but I'm down to let Billy lead the charge on our first pick as our guest here.
I'm not going to disagree with you on the first pick. I like AJ Brown too. He's been a target for me. He was great this past year, and I think the offense could get even better this year. Kellen Moore should be an improvement. So I think he's an awesome pick.
Yeah, I'm of the boat too that like of these first round wide receivers after like Amon-Ra, AJ Brown still has the most like nuclear capabilities of them. Like I love Puka, but like Cooper Kupp is still alive, and Matt Stafford, shower narrative, Cooper Kupp, coffee narrative, whatever you want to call it. They have a great relationship, so I always worry about Cooper stealing some of that.
Puka's the alpha. Let's stop it now. Cooper Kupp's he's in the dust cupboard. All right, it's over. No, I agree though. AJ Brown has way higher SpikeWeek potential in my opinion. Even though I love my Street Prince Puka Nacua. And I do like the Dallas stack options. The Cardinals are available too, but I like both. I don't really think one or the other is a bad pick in my opinion. I do think AJ Brown's a little bit more high end, more proven. I don't love the Kellen Moore addition, honestly. I think he's not that great of an OC, but he peppered Keenan Allen with targets. If he does that for AJ Brown, we're cooking with gas.
The Marvin scheme is insane.
I agree. But like, you just kind of got to do it.
Yeah,
that's interesting. I have not seen much of that.
Nico, that's a high one. Woo. Okay, that's a high Nico Collins at 13. Maybe he saw the CJ Stroud comment about how he's the next Andre Johnson, generational man. CJ Stroud just be saying shit sometimes, and I kind of love it. Would love Drake London to fall to us.
Absolutely. So you know what that person's doing is they're trying to set up Tank Dell on the other side in the 3-4 turn.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Shaun, you would rather have Drake than Ayuk, Adams, Debo, Olave?
It's tough. I like the Jaden Daniels option for stacks, honestly. You don't have to twist, too. You don't have to. Just Ayuk. It seems like a little early on ADP, but I could take Ayuk. But we're not really married to correlation here.
It sounds like Billy's in agreement here on the Drake London thing as well too. London. So
it's high. It's kind of stinks having to draft Drake London before he's done it before. Like JJ Zachariason,
you're betting on a principle that's not real yet. It's just all a theory. It's Fugazi. Like Drake London is Fugazi. At least at Kyle Pitts, I saw it. But
no, we saw Drake London command like a 30% target share in the back end of his rookie season. He ran a 1.98 yards per route run as a rookie. Like, dude's good. Like, there's no doubt about it. But ideally, I'd like to pay for a guy. If I'm paying, top 15 prices ADP wise for a guy who hasn't finished top 36 at his position over the course of 2 seasons, kind of rough, but like I get it, man. The market's the market. Like housing prices, the housing prices. You want to own a house or not? Like you got to fucking deal with it. I don't know what to
I
tell
don't
you.
care how high gas prices are. What the fuck I'm gonna do? Not get gas?
Yeah, and then look at the other receivers there and find me a better house.
Ayuk,
Right? They're all you got question marks
you
on
do.
all of them.
You do. I actually don't hate this second round as much as some people do. I think there's plenty of good players in it. Honestly,
I like being right here where Buffalo Trace is because I'm a huge fan of Waddle in the second round, but I don't want to shove him like all the way up, especially because the Tyreek drafters are always going to be at the front half of the draft. So I think as long as Kirk Cousins is like even 85% Kirk Cousins, that is 110% better than anything Drake London has ever had in his entire career. So just like the bet on his health and him being just like a normal, stable quarterback. It's like the Garrett Wilson conundrum, right? Like, let's just get these guys like a good, consistent quarterback who starts for 15 plus weeks and see what happens.
but the Jets at least get it. They're like, hey, we're gonna give Garrett Wilson 150 targets. Like the Jets, say what you will, they have just force fed that man with Drake London, with Arthur Smith. It's a double thing now where it's like the offense sucked and the quarterback sucked. So it's like now we're banking on both the offense being better and the quarterback being better. I feel good about the quarterback being better. Do we know just because he's coming from Sean McVay's offense? Like, do we absolutely know Zach Robinson's going to be a good OC? No, but like he probably is, right?
Anything is better than RD.
We're going to need a modern offense. We're going to get 3 wide receivers on the field, right? Like, hopefully we have a real target distribution. Arthur Smith out here just calling up just the most genius plays for Jonnu Smith and them working. Remember that Jonnu Smith like 80-yard house call? That was insane. I cannot believe that happened.
My eyes wanted that to be Kyle Pitts so bad.
This guy has Tyreek, Waddle, and Achane. Oh my goodness, he is living life. Wow, that's crazy.
That's an interesting start. I was gonna say that the 2 Dolphins start is great, the Waddle Hill, because you can own Tua.
No one's drafting Tua.
But you have to pay attention. Yeah, but you have to pay attention to Achane. But now he doesn't even have to pay attention to the Achane drafter. He just owns the whole thing.
I like Cooper Kupp, Michael Pittman, Zay Flowers, even Josh.
I'm here on all of these 3. I think Pittman, obviously target hog with that first read offense, kind of like through Anthony Richardson, and I love Zay as well. So
I like Kupp. I even like Josh Allen if we want to take a quarterback. But I don't know, Billy. What are your thoughts?
I like all of them. The Pittman thing is interesting because Anthony Richardson does come
He's gone
back in like the 6th round.
Yeah,
I know that's what I was saying, but I know he's gone. I think Kupp or Flowers. I think I'd go Kupp
ADP.
personally.
I like this. I like this room.
Yeah, and the reason that we can set up McBride, and then we can have that nice that game, that Rams game with the Cardinals on it, or we can set up Jalen Hurts. We have options here for this next pick.
Yeah, I'm now realizing we probably should take Hurts. Is the Devonta Smith team out there? We'd get pretty decent value on Hurts at ADP if he fell to 40.
Devonta Smith, the team will be after us.
So we have like 3 options here on ways we could play. Oh, well, Flowers is gone, right? But we have 2 good options here.
I still have McBride queued as well, too, and I think that'll fall like pretty close to his like ADP, so.
And then we can go Kyler later on if we want to. We can do like Michael Wilson and Greg Dortch, like kind of back in.
Josh Allen, Garrett Wilson, guys living my dream.
Only one receiver through 3 rounds, though. I don't know, man.
ADP's a myth, like that Denny Carter video.
There it is. Man. Billy's a sharp. Look at that. Tank Dell going right where Billy called it. And then he has to take CJ Stroud right here, right?
Yeah, he won't get him.
I think he's going to push
it. Because the Diggs team could take him.
No, I think that person would hopefully push it. But people think they're so creative with the way that they build out these, like, oh, I'm going to move a player up 4 picks or whatever. It's not really that much. That's an interesting play.
That's an interesting play. But the Stephon Diggs can still. The Stephon Diggs pick can still.
They have 2 chances at
CJ Stroud. Like the CJ Stroud guy can just.
Oh yeah.
like that doesn't preclude him from taking Stroud just because he has Diggs. That's the risk of taking that pick. Hurts feels like a pretty good ADP bet. Yeah,
He really does. I would just do it Hurts, and then if not Hurts, then McBride is how I would.
3 rounds of 3 picks on of ADP on Jalen Hurts. I'll take that. Yeah.
Let's do it.
What are your guys' thoughts on Trey McBride being a PPR merchant, and he's not as good in half-point PPR? ETR was talking about this. I'm a big Trey McBride fan. Billy, by the way, just love the guy. Just like he saved my season last year. He made me feel something. So big Trey McBride fan. But I'm curious to know, like, do you think he's a half-point like play? I think he still is. He just needs to catch some touchdowns. But I thought it was interesting to say like volume-based guy shouldn't get picked high in half-point.
Well, I feel like touchdowns are the least predictable. So leaning into volume is like I think the best way you can go attack it. And then additionally, that offense, I think that they'll get better. Cliff Kingsbury, good offensive coordinator, or able to get like some sort of function out of it. But I don't know. I feel like that they, from a talent perspective, are so
Drew
much better
Petzing's a
this
pretty
year.
good OC. He was an ex-Browns guy. He was the OC last year. They were super run-heavy last year, like really run-heavy. So I think that their pass rate naturally will go up with Marvin Harrison in the fold. They have a pretty good 3 wide receiver set plus Trey McBride. So like I feel like their pass rate's going to go way up. And I feel like the easiest bet is just Kyler if you really want the take on that offense.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, is that a naked Pat Mahomes? Or are they gonna? Okay, they're probably gonna take Hollywood
at 52 because I think he's like ADP 56 or something right now.
Yeah.
And you still have Rashi Rice that'll fall in the 7th.
I have not taken a ton of Rice, and I think I probably should be. I don't think he's gonna get like the 8-game suspension. I think that's kind of gotten ruled out.
What's tough is like, I think that no matter what happens, his price is not going to stay as is. He either gets a big suspension, and it's going to decrease even more, or he gets a minimal suspension. I think the value is going to go up. So I just don't think it's going to stay.
It's like taking him's a pretty big risk.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm just happy there's no Trey Lance this year. Because that was the ADP landmine of a century. I mean, that, man.
18th round, Trey Lance, what could go wrong?
Oh, he was like going way higher than the 18th round for parts of May before
the summer.
Purdy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, there it is, Hollywood Brown.
Well, do you think? I think that I was about to say the closest version of it is probably Justin Fields. But he's not being actually like
last
drafted
pick
right
of the
now.
draft.
He's like drafted last pick of the draft.
Ooh, I'm down for Keenan Allen or Jaden Reed.
Yeah, I like adding Keenan and Jaden in these rounds. Like right now, if we don't get, obviously we have Jalen, so we have one great QB, but now we're setting ourselves up for like cheap quarterback ads down the road.
Pitts.
Like Jordan Love is pretty cheap, or Pitts, or Caleb's not cheap, but he is gettable.
And Pitts is gone. Wow. That's sick. I'm down for Jaden Reed. I know there's some Jaden Reed FUD on the timeline. People aren't feeling him. They think he's a big play merchant. I'm down for Jordan Reed.
Billy, thoughts? I'm also down with Jaden Reed.
I think I like it, and this gives us so many options at quarterback to pick. Where's our second?
Yeah, is it Stafford? Is it Kirk? Is it Love? And now, since we're going to shove the running back position, we're going to be in prime Aaron Jones territory.
Yeah, and what this does is they're at different points in the draft too. So it's like if we miss on Love at that window, we have another window we can hit. It's not like we all are putting like the same like 3 guys that all go together. I have to get them on the same turn. Like I can. That's the one issue. I think it's like Trevor Lawrence to if there's another guy that all sit together, and like you can stack it up and hope to get them, but like you could get completely busted too, and then you don't have outs later.
Yeah, and Stafford's are out, and Cousins. Yeah, I'm totally aligned. And Jordan Love goes around pick 90, so we could take him at, I think, we're at 88. And I think 81, Christian Watson is out there too. So, like, if we wanted to do, like, a Green Bay stack, we can. It's definitely in our back pocket.
That guy
He
pulled
got
it off.
C.J. Stroud.
I was waiting.
Wow.
I was waiting for that. I was just like, it's gonna fall to him. I think it is.
He's gonna get the screenshot off. He's gonna do it.
But it's like not even that great a screenshot because of the Mark Andrews. Like,
It's pretty high.
because
It's pretty high.
that'll
Mark Andrews.
be 14 picks. But whatever. I mean, there's no really other way to do it. They either put Stroud early or Andrews early.
He's gonna get Levis later. He's gonna be living your best life, Billy.
It's a fun one. It's a fun one.
I love Will Levis.
So who are we thinking here? Jordan Addison sitting there.
I'm
Do
a
you like
huge
him?
Jordan Addison guy. I think like
Touchdowns.
the idea that he's not worthy of his pick is interesting to me because it's like, look at all these other wide receiver twos going around this range. Or
I
like,
like
you're not
Godwin,
going to
too.
draft Jordan Addison over Lad McConkey. I don't know.
I would. I like Godwin too. I'm down for either one of these.
And you also have to think of like where you're at too. Like your receiver, it's your fifth receiver too. Like I'm more in on the Jordan Addison thing because we do have Jaden Reed as well too. With Godwin, we got to find our way back to like
John
a
Brooks.
Deontay Johnson or Jonathan Brooks, but
Yeah, and
So I like him a lot. I like Addison here.
Kittle.
The only other thought I would be is Kittle because elite tight end. There's been a lot of like conversation recently about how elite tight end when it hits in
Yeah.
the playoffs, it hits so hard.
we can get Goddard
But,
or Ferguson. We can get
do
Goddard or
Addison.
Ferguson to correlate off of Hurts. We just can.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. There's Green Bay pieces we can play for tight end.
Musgrave or go
We can get
really
Goddard,
late
we can-
Kraft. Like there's outs here.
I love Brock Bowers. Love Brock Bowers. I think he's just like
It's getting slept on.
you draft him so high to be a skill player, like closer to a wide receiver than he is a tight end. But look at the rookie wide receivers and where they go. Like, and then you see this guy who's an elite talent and he's not getting because of like Michael Mayer. Like, I
and
don't
what did
know.
Antonio
Like-
Pierce do when he got there last year? He said, our offense is just going to run through our best players. He just fed Devontae Adams and he just fed Josh Jacobs. Like, that was their offense. Like, Jacoby Myers was great under Josh McDaniels, and it was like, where did Jacoby Myers go? He's gone. But that was, like, their way of operating, which I thought was – I think Pierce is a better coach than people are willing to give him credit for. I know it's a small sample size, but I do.
There's like a who was it? Guy who does hockey, best ball.
DJ Mitchell.
Who's
Yeah.
like sometimes, if you're being like if you're doing something to be like really sharp, it might be dumb. And I sometimes feel like that's the same way with coaching too, right? Like if you're trying to overbake it, like you're being dumb. Just
Yeah.
play the best players and give them
it's
the ball.
bell
the
curve,
most.
meme where it's like the smartest and the dumbest people are doing the same thing. Like it's the people in the
If-
middle that are overthinking it.
Sean, you don't know DJ Mitchell, but he is like the spokesperson in the hockey world of fantasy stuff and hockey betting as well too. Like the fantasy hockey best ball space was so not sharp at all last year. Like he had so many bullets in the finals because he was the only one like drafting like how people knew how to draft.
Wow. So
he's
he
full
just had the
blown
edge.
NHL degen.
He
Oh,
just
dude,
had
he
the
won like
edge.
I think
so much money.
he won 2 years ago. He won 2 years ago, and I think he had 5 or 6 finals teams this year.
Did he win all of it? Did he win this year? No,
I'm
he just
just-
had a bunch of.
He didn't win this year, but I'm just like, that's like, oh my goodness. Like, if I had 5 finals teams in BBM,
You're walking away with a pretty good amount of money.
yeah, no matter what.
Yeah, that's definitely something I'll want to try and get in on this year before more people start going. I only drafted like 1 or 2 last year. I just didn't have the time. We're so focused on football, best ball, trying to incorporate my hockey knowledge into best ball. I put my brain in a pretzel.
Goddard's coming up, right? At 81?
No,
No.
he's like
I thought
100.
Ferguson further down. He's
I
further
think we're going to
down.
get Goddard.
I think Ferguson. The tight end play here would be Ferguson, but we can have patience.
Yeah, because we have the wrap. Sorry, I didn't mean to click Jameson.
We could go Deontay.
Trying to look at what else on the board here.
Yeah, I mean, it's either we go receiver or it's time to take our first running back.
Yeah,
Deontay off the board.
I think.
What do we think here? I really like Ramondre in this territory. I think Zamir White's a fine play as well too.
Najee. I like Najee, but
I'm comfortable with any running back you want here. I'm willing to.
We have to go
the,
Chargers for Ramondre. I don't know if I really am super into Ramondre, honestly. I think Najee's the best pick here. Just touchdown upside. I like Zamir White too, and we could honestly have done something with Brock Bowers if we wanted to with Zamir White, but we can still do Brock Bowers too. It doesn't really.
Yeah, no, we got time with Brock Bowers. He goes at like 103 now, 104, I think, and I think we can get him at one.
I'm kind of hoping Ferg just falls here at 88. I think that'll be an auto click for me. So then we walk out of this with 5 solid wide receivers, elite QB, our first running back, and a pretty solid number 2 option on a offense that's going to be insane again this year. I feel like Dak is going to throw the ball so much again.
Big fan of the Ferg, man.
It's like you're picking up what is like the end of like arguably the end of the elite tight ends, or what I think is like a really good tight end, and it's perfectly correlated, and so it just kind of all fits. And then we can after we take this pick, we can show the board, and you can see where if we get Bowers, great. If not, we can get Goddard at the next pick too. We're like have options there.
Mondre. I don't hate Mondre at 80, but we don't have to take Mondre. We can take.
Let's do it here with the. We're gonna get the number 2 option in the Dallas offense, and now we're pretty good to go on that Week 17 Philly Dallas here. I've definitely been starting to sprinkle in some Ramondre because I feel like pass catching upside, rookie running back or rookie quarterback for some part of the season. Like there's always a tendency to like for quick dump offs to the running back. I feel like Ramondre just had a down year. Like I feel like the vibes were horrible in New England. Like there were no real standouts. Like I'd expect almost everybody on that team to improve. There's fresh blood in New England, like from the coaching staff, ownership perspective. It's all just like I think vibes are gonna be a lot better for Ramondre.
So do you think Antonio Gibson's a dud there, or is he
I don't know.
level too?
I think people have such strong takes on Antonio Gibson. There's nobody that really flies in the middle. It's like you either love him or like everybody despises him. I think he's always been forced into something that he's not, and he doesn't get a lot of like. I'm a big believer in like momentum in sports. Like he just comes in for these spot plays and it doesn't pick up momentum, right? Like he never gets the chance to like tote the rock for a couple plays, build momentum. I think he'll be fine in New England. Like they're so void of top tier talent that I feel like it's got to be like an all members help rise the tide situation. So I think he's got plenty of viability, especially in best ball, right? Like if you only get 5 good weeks out of Antonio Gibson, like are you mad about that? Probably not, you know?
I think Mondre is a really good running back. If this offense even surprises to the upside, he can score more touchdowns. But I mean, you're looking at one of the potentially worst offenses in the league this season. And I feel like when Drake May plays, Drake May is going to scramble a ton. I just feel like he's going to get a ton of points on the ground. I'd bet on Ramondre. I don't hate Gibson. But this is just kind of a backfield that isn't that fun, TBH. Like, it's just...
Uninspiring.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's
doesn't
good. Look,
exactly get your hair on edge.
AVP is their new OC, Alex Van Pelt. He's part of that Browns tree. This Browns tree has really good run games. Drew Petzing for the Cardinals, Stefanski for the Browns. So, like, this Stefanski tree has good run games. I wouldn't be shocked if it was decent. Everything will be better than it was last year. I love Benson here. No argument from me. He correlates nicely.
Oh, that hurts. All right, we got to pivot here real quick.
I don't like any of these guys. I like Brian Robinson. You could take Dallas.
I like Brian
Could
Robinson
take Dallas
a lot,
Goddard,
too.
but I like Robinson if I'm taking a. And he correlates with Drake London.
Yep, Washington, Atlanta, that works well too. The Benson thing would have been great, but I think Brian Robinson will have more of a steady role. I feel like his ADP is super disrespectful for a guy who's going to be a starting running back and has like the ghost of Austin Eckler behind him. So,
Yep.
and like this makes me feel really comfortable about an RB room. And if we really do want to double dip and just sort out our tight ends right now,
take
I wouldn't be
Goddard.
shocked if Goddard is here. We have a really full blown Eagle stack, and then we just punt on tight end and just roll two. And we look to do a 2-6-8 build here.
Yeah, you're not going to see any
I love
argument from
that.
me.
These guys have Laporta, Kincaid, Andrews with no like Dallas players or Philly. So I'd be shocked to see somebody dip on Goddard here. But
Man, that's early Rashichi. He's getting kind of steamed up boards.
Yeah, that's the range where there isn't any real viable options at receiver.
good
So
dart
you're
throw.
just like, I guess
Yeah, he's
I'll
a,
take him.
yeah, he's a good. He's a good dart throw. I find that Caleb always falls in
But
these
it's like
drafts. Like I've got a decent amount of Caleb because I'm just like, why not?
He's a guy who, at first, I wasn't going to be a target of mine, but because of the fact that where I see him fall, I've been wanting to take more Chicago receivers because of the fact that I can
Yeah.
get these Caleb values.
He's got some rushing upside too in the red zone that I like, and he strikes me as someone who's going to throw to DeAndre Swift too. So like, they have a ton of options for him to throw the ball to. It's more of like that offensive line has good players, but it's always hurt. So it's like, how good is the offensive line, and then how good of a play caller is Shane Waldron? Like those are kind of the two variables that I think of with that offense. But man, I like his talent. I like their defense, and I love their pass catchers. So I feel like there's a lot to like about the Bears.
I completely agree.
8.5 win total is huge for a team that just had the number one overall pick, which is crazy.
Not many number one overall team picks get like a decent
Yeah.
like roster to like work in.
Not every, yeah.
Bryce Young didn't.
Well, why? I wonder why. It's like the hot dog meme. I wonder who did this.
yeah,
I wonder why he didn't have a good roster behind him. Dontavian Wicks went early. Oh my goodness. Or is that where he goes? I thought he was going like the 130s.
yeah. I mean, he's already been moved up quite a bit, just in like a month span. Like Twitter found out about Dontavian Wicks, and now he's all of fantasy football Twitter's favorite person to tweet about.
You're not a fantasy football analyst until you make a take about Dontavian Wicks. If you don't have a Dontavian Wicks take, they literally take your analyst badge from you. Like YouTube
They take
stops
fantasy out of your app.
Yeah,
handle.
YouTube's like, nope, can't post. Where's your Dontavian Wicks take? They'll literally take you off the site. It's crazy. I've never seen anything like it.
See, I don't have one, and does that mean that I'm a best ball analyst? I'm not a fantasy football analyst. They're different.
He's that's great. He's basically like you go on Keep Trade Cut and you look at all the wide receivers. You're like, oh, this guy had a good yards per out run as a rookie. He might be good. And Matt LaFleur said he reminded him of Devontae Adams, and so people are just like going crazy. And then obviously like he had a good reception perception profile, which sends the masses soaring.
This is where I'm at. I'm like Jerome Ford, Zeke, Blake
I think
Corum. I have this
Blake
really
Corum's
perverted feeling that
such an
Zeke
easy
is going to be
pick
on the
for me.
winning BBM roster this year.
Oh, we could do Zeke for the stack, but we could also take Dowdle later. I mean, Blake Corum has so much upside, in my opinion.
I really like Corum. I like Chase Brown too, but let's go Corum. I wanted to see what your thoughts on Chase Brown are though, because I can get both sides
I like
of the
Brown.
argument.
Like I like taking him and Zach Moss.
I think I'm on the opposite of Brown. Like the sample size is so little for what he's done in the NFL, and like the plays that he was very explosive on were like wide open. Like if you just like watch the tape and like see where he was winning, it's just like, well, there was nobody there, right? There was nobody stopping him. Like, of course, it looks explosive. And I'm not saying he's not explosive as a player, but like it's so small for me to look at inform a valid player take, where I feel like some people are like, he's almost like he's Dontavian Wicks of fantasy Twitter this summer as well too, but for the running back position. It's like you need to target these year 2 running backs, and like Chase Brown's always in the conversation, but it's like we don't know that much about Chase Brown. Like I can't make a formulated opinion about him based off what I saw last year. So I'm just kind of like, he's just a total dart throw in my eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. I don't know how to handle him because it's like the pro is that he's explosive and has like these big play, but that ruins his underlying statistics. So like we're nerfing him for like these big plays that were also like what makes him great. So I don't know what to do with that.
I could be.
This is a
down
little
for-
early, but I'm here for Lloyd. I'm here for Zeke, Rico Dowdle. It's a little early for Marshawn Lloyd, but I do like what we've built here with Green Bay, Minnesota. It gives us another Green Bay player, but
The only thing I want to be conscious of is not missing on quarterback. So let's take
Kirk
Marshawn
Cousins.
Lloyd, but we do need to. I think let's queue up Cousins and
Yeah.
queue up Stafford, because those are going to be 2 outs for us. And if not, we would
I
have
like
to
Stafford.
do it
Yes.
another way.
like Stafford.
the only reason I didn't maybe go quarterback there is because our running back room is so weak, and I'm sitting here like, okay, when we're coming back, like we're right before the Puka team. Like there are 2 key pieces to the Rams here at the wide receiver position, and we own Corum as well on the running back side, and Puka guy is after us. So I'm like, I think Stafford's going to fall here. So I'm willing to go a little bit up on Marshawn Lloyd, who to me has a ton of upside.
I completely agree that was the right play. I was just wanted to note that those are the 2 guys that we should be thinking about the next pick.
Back to Chase Brown though. Billy, I'm a big believer in the year 2 running back theory. Where
Don't say year 2
literally-
around Sean. It'll
where you
it'll
can
get him
literally
fired up.
close your eyes and just pick your 2 guys and they just hit. Like they just hit on ADP. Like if you look at last year's year 2 running backs, it was insane. Rashad White, James Cook, Zamir White, Ty Chandler, Jerome Ford, like literally Brees, any name you pick last year that was a good running back was a year 2 guy. And I feel like last year's class was really solid running back group. A lot of like kind of scat back, unique type of running backs, so they're harder to project. But I just think if you take a year 2 running back this year, you're good. You're golden.
Man, I was trying to see where like Jordan Love went and what happened. Like, why did somebody take Jordan Love without anything? But he did end up grabbing Dobbs after.
Kind of weird back end stack, but
That's not the direction I would go if I was drafting Jordan Love.
okay. So we're gonna get Stafford here.
I don't think
Hopefully,
that's probably what they wanted to do. I think they probably wanted Dontavian Wicks on that team too, to play Dubs and Wicks and play it through the top 2 pieces. But that kind of got blown up. But you got
I
2
kind of
up,
like if
so-
you're gonna pick a team to play it through the top 2, like the non-top 2 pieces. I like the Packers because all 4 of those guys, you can make an argument it's gonna be good.
I agree. I see what you mean though, Billy. He was probably hoping that 118 spot was where Wicks would go to, but people had other plans.
I would be
Okay.
shocked if Stafford
Did get Musgrave there though.
I'd be shocked if look at that. I'd be shocked if we don't get our pick of either one, honestly.
Yeah, if you're watching this draft and you haven't heard our video that we recorded with Billy, like we talked about this exact thing, right? Like pushing off quarterbacks who you own the keys to. We own the keys to the Stafford car right now, and I can take a risk that he'll fall an extra round and pick him. Imagine he gets sniped right now by C. Soundus right after that whole monologue.
They go back to back right there.
Oh man.
This guy's gonna take JJ McCarthy, see Sandus, right? Like, isn't that kind of setting up? He's got Hawkinson. We have Addison.
Oh, Kirk Cousins. Don't do it to us. Don't do it to us.
We might have
I just now
spoken into
realized that we might have to take JJ McCarthy if this doesn't go well.
Oh.
We just touted how this was going to work out in our favor.
Nah. Oh my
goodness.
god.
Oh my goodness.
Wow, that's good content.
Why
That's
they do
good
that?
content, but we
Why'd
need a
they
pick
do
here.
that?
So
Darnell Mooney, Adam Thielen. Could take another running back. Could we do
so
something with
rattled right
Herbert?
now.
We could
Nah,
grab
I don't-
Herbert and then
no.
try and grab Quentin
No,
Johnson
no,
right
get
after.
I don't want to do that.
I need a pick.
Mooney.
Do
that
Mooney.
sucked.
Do Mooney. They just
Yeah,
play the
that
better
sucked.
offense. The offense is going to be good. Oh,
Get ready to
what just
speak
happened?
JJ McCarthy,
This
buddy.
McCarthy. Yeah. Why did he take Stafford? Why did he do that?
Oh.
He did not need to do
why
that.
did
He
he
just
do
took
that?
best BPA, baby.
Oh my God. Like,
Oh man, if
Oh,
you had
that
given me a
was-
QJ, if we almost had a naked Justin Herbert, that would have been a freaking nightmare. Oh my goodness.
I could have pulled it together with little Brendan Rice.
Well, I think the easiest pivot we can do is to play the Patriots.
Or JJ, because we
Right,
have
like-
Jordan Addison and we have two Packers, so we have the Week 17 there if we wanted to do that.
Both of those options are really good options because we have Jalen Hurts stability.
Massage man,
early.
massage man, and then you could do a back end Brown situation. You could also go naked massage man. I'm sorry, listeners, that I just said that.
I refuse to call him.
All right,
that.
what do you guys think here? Do we want to go running back? Do we want to get Deshaun Watson? There is some late round Elijah Moore there.
Let's go running
Ray
back.
Davis, Kamani Vidal,
Davis.
Jaleel McLaughlin. I like.
I like
Okay.
Ray Davis.
I love Jaleel
I like Ray
McLaughlin
Davis,
too, but
yeah, year
Yeah.
2 running back,
Yeah, see,
right?
you're too
the
baby.
theme is so strong.
He's my number one most drafted player.
I am like so hurt right now. Like,
We're gonna
I'm-
have to reach so tough on JJ, and it's gonna suck. Why don't you put that star? Why don't you
I'm getting
grab
ready.
that star right now. Oh, he goes at 192. Okay. I mean,
Okay, let's take a look. Who can hurt us right now? Look at Justin Jefferson team.
pick 5, right?
Justin Jefferson's pick 4 right here.
He
So
could
we
still
would need
hurt
to
us.
grab him at 184, because he's not going to grab him at 172. That would be like
Yeah.
a full 20 picks up. So we have 177
with
and
it,
184 to
184.
grab it.
We haven't really reached on anybody in this draft, so I could live with that.
Dude.
We have 3
See,
rookie
sound
running
this.
backs. We have 3 rookie running backs. Oh, jeez.
Wow, I'm fine. The rookie running backs and young
Yeah.
running backs, no problem with that. We're playing for volume, so we're going to have run like a 2.772 or 2.682, and we'll have volume. We don't need to play it through like
If
quality.
JJ hits, this is going to be a pretty nasty squad. If you wait on your second QB till pick 184, yeah, I mean it's pretty solid.
I am so interested by these two right here, Marshawn Lloyd and Blake Corum. Like, Kyron gets hurt. It's just like they're going to run Blake Corum like
Yes.
crazy. And
Yes.
and I love Josh Jacobs, but Marshawn Lloyd, when he has the ball in his hands, as long as he can hold on to the ball, it's extremely
Fumbler.
dangerous.
He's a fumbler. This is what fantasy Twitter's not telling people. Is this guy is honestly horrible fumbler, and he is got terrible success rate vibes. He does not follow the blocks. So like, though
Dude,
Marshawn
all I
Lloyd-
care is about missed tackles force per attempt, brother.
Look,
And
Marshawn
Marshawn
Lloyd
Lloyd is moving and grooving.
is electric. We've talked about this. He's an electric player, but that guy is DeAndre Swift. So like if you get super pumped about him, like that's great, get pumped, but there are going to be opportunities where like might get 2 or 3 points if you start him because he fumbles and it's over. And Josh Jacobs doesn't do that shit. Like Josh Jacobs is 4 yards in a cloud of dust. Like that's just how it is.
But that's the beauty of best ball. We just taking the explosive
Michael
part
Wilson.
of the profile and ignoring all the bad.
Yeah. I like Michael Wilson here for correlating off of Drake London and Darnell Mooney. I mean, no, yes, right? Cardinals? No, that's
Cardinals, Rams.
Cardinals, Rams. Yeah,
Okay.
I like Michael Wilson for
Okay. Let's do that.
Rams.
I like Michael Wilson.
I have drafted so much Khalil Herbert, Billy. I'm not sure like what your take is on that, but I think I'm all over the value of Khalil Herbert. And Swift, we just talked about, is a great running back in my mind, but like Khalil Herbert remains to me one of the most underrated running backs in the NFL. And I feel like once DeAndre Swift doesn't start hitting holes, like they're just going to give the ball to Khalil Herbert. He's so talented, and he just runs where he's supposed to run.
He's a good
I feel like
RB.
the offense is going to score points too.
I don't get why he doesn't play more.
I don't either. Like, is he a locker room problem? Like,
No,
why isn't he winning jobs outright?
I don't think he pass blocks. And it's one of my least favorite parts of doing this is like having to go check the pass block grades, but it really does. Just like, can he block?
This part that has 0, he doesn't score any points on those plays for us. But no, my take is that there's a couple outs for him to being good. Like one, there is like the world that he could get traded.
Yeah, what if he goes to Dallas?
And this would be the perfect for. Yeah, like that exists. But also like, you just kind of bet on talent, and like if we don't think DeAndre Swift is like a super talented.
Yeah, we got JJ.
Okay, cool. The 5 and the 6 looked eerily similar. I'm like, okay, do we just bye week ourselves?
Yeah, I was double checking for sure.
He needs to be
I made
starting.
some bye week mistakes.
See, that's a terrible early bye week. He needs to be starting by week 6 because we have our Hurts week 5. It would have been sick if Lamar's like week 14. Oh, he better be starting. If he can't beat out Sam Darnold,
that's probably. But that's probably like a very real world where he is not starting until after.
Do we
the
need
bye.
a third?
No, we don't need a third. We didn't talk about this earlier. I do think that there is a world where solo quarterback, when done correctly, has like utility. So I don't think we need a third.
You're saying we can eat a 0 for a week and we can still advance.
You can. I looked at my teams last year that did really well. There was a lot of zeros eaten at a lot of key positions by good players.
I'll put it this way. Even there was a Josh Allen, Ryan Tannehill team in the BBM finals last year. Ryan Tannehill did not do anything. He scored 0 points. Literally never contributed a week all year. And that team made the finals.
And we have the quarterback to do that in Hurts. Yeah, we have a quarterback to do that with Hurts. It's not like we're like it's not like we're running with Aaron Rodgers as the other guy, right?
Yeah, so it's not. I mean, it's fine. Like I think solo Hurts were in the 20% advance rate last year. So like on their own, they can kind of power teams.
Wow, we've almost done it. We have almost done it.
Who were some late round targets you liked this year, Billy? Both 17 and round 18.
At this point, I don't think there's much difference between round 17 and round 18. ETR has a really cool projected. It's not a projection for the number of percentage of players are going to be drafted. It's just the percentage of players drafted to date, because they're not like looking at future ADP movements. But essentially, like this range gets really pretty like much more sparsely drafted than you would assume. I think that there's a lot of ways you can attack this.
Jalen Tolbert.
It's all the same. But from a running backs, I like Eric Gray's been an interesting name, way deep down there. Evan Hull's been an interesting name, way
Evan
deep
Hull,
down
year
there.
2.
Yeah,
I've got them all. I've got them all. I've literally got them written on a note card every day. No, too.
What do we think here?
Tolbert? I like Tolbert for the Dallas stack, but I mean,
yeah.
I don't love Jalen Tolbert, but he's got some good camp buzz, and I don't really want to bet on Brandon Cooks.
But you're like, yeah, I think it's just he's running routes. He's likely to be running routes all year.
I'd take Braylon Allen. I'd do it, and he's gone. Right? Or is he still out there? I'd do it.
There.
It's the Brees handcuff. Man.
Yeah.
He's had some good vibes in the camp too.
He's going to beat out all of the other running backs, and I think he's one of those running backs that you don't know if he's a good pass catcher or not until you actually see him in the NFL. And like that's all the buzz has been from the Jets. It's like he's got good hands. He's making plays. I'm down to rip some Brandon Allen because like if anything happens to Brees, like
it's wheels
holy
up.
Cow.
Yeah, it's wheels up.
And it's like one of these things where it's a compounding bet that we
Four
went
rookies.
0 RB. So
Yes.
yeah, we went 0 RB. So one of the plays that if Braylon Allen's hitting our lineup, it's directly taking away from a player that we faded in the first round
Good
with this
point.
structure.
Good point.
So
Same with all those guys, essentially.
Honestly,
there's like your double.
if I look
winning.
back at this board and like see how we navigate it, other than the Stafford snipe, I'm pretty happy with how this went. You know, AJ at 9, Drake London, Cooper Cup. That start is awesome. You get Hurts, start building that out, and then you double dip week 17 correlation right
Year
here.
twos.
Jaden Reed, Jordan Addison, and now you're on to touchdown merchant Najee Harris and
Same with Brian
hopefully
Robinson.
Artie Smith offense. Yeah, Brian Robinson, 2 starting running backs, right? We've got number 2 Dallas pass catching option. We've correlated our tight end, and then a rookie upside and some swings at Darnell Mooney, Michael Wilson, and Jalen Tolbert. Honestly, I like it.
A lot of year 2 on this squad. A lot of a lot of variance. We got some year 2s. We got some rookies. Usually I like to flip it, rookie wide receivers plus year 2 RBs, but I'm down to do the inverse.
You could say we're chasing Spike Weeks, Sean.
Oh my God, I'm gonna cry.
I like
I'm gonna
it.
get emotional. It's my first It's our first recorded draft that we did.
I love that.
Wow. All right, that was a great time. Billy, thank you for joining, spending your evening with us. Keegan, thanks for being the man behind the mouse. This is a tough role that you fulfill, so we appreciate you for being proud and standing on business for us today, man. We appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Billy, thank you again for joining us. We really appreciate it. If you've watched this draft, make sure you go watch our tips as well that Billy provided us, 4 tips on how to draft like a best ball pro.
All right, everybody, thank you for tuning in. Until next time.